Hi 92, it's today's Island Hits. Monday morning, Mayor check-in. I believe this is him on the phone. We'll see. Hi 92, good morning. Is this Mayor Victorino?
Yes, Kavika. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How you doing, Mayor?
All right, sir. And yourself? Family, everybody okay?
Everybody doing okay. Everybody's in pretty good mind. And how's things going? You guys' plans for Mother's Day this weekend?
Well, we haven't made anything final, and we really don't want to go out. We've been invited. We want to try to stay away from crowds,
Yeah.
The family, you know what I'm saying?
Yep. Practice what you preach, kind of.
Yeah. I know what I tell people, and yet if I go out contrary to what I'm saying, kind of like, oh, look at me. He tell us for this. But he do that. But definitely take care of Mrs. Victorino. I got flowers. It's all set already.
What about like hair appointments and stuff?
Still trying. So, this week we're going to be meeting with the association, and we want to put together a solid protocol. And let's see what also happens this week with what we've set out already in the parks and other facilities. Let's see how they follow through on their protocols and policies. And if they do, then I'll take the next step. It's just one step at a time. I don't like to charge and then have to pull back everything like what's happening in Mississippi and Georgia and other places where all of a sudden an outbreak and like, oh my God, now they're pulling things back.
Yeah.
Systematically and methodically, I think is the way I want to approach this.
And that's a big thing. A lot of people who might be real eager to get back into the swing of things, they got to remember about that second wave that could happen.
Well, I think most medical experts say there is going to be a second wave no matter what we do, whether we stay closed or reopen. However, if we have the right policies, everybody following social distancing, good hygiene, masks, and all, it may be a small outbreak instead of a large one. It may not be a big spike, but it's really depending on what we do. And, of course, depends on this virus itself and how much more they find out about it during the next 3 or 4 months, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Totally. That mutation process that they're talking about that could happen, that's where, you got this.
And it's real difficult right now because you listen, all the experts are torn in they all know it's airborne. It's a virus, it's a pathogen that is from your nasal or your cough or whatever. So we know that. How that affects people in different categories, age, health, but no, it's different for everyone, especially the seniors. We are the most vulnerable group. Next is the health impaired. They're really vulnerable. From there, we've not seen much numbers to show it. One of the things that Dr. Pang was telling me that they're going to start looking at kids. Because kids carry and spread germs real fast. But because they get such a much stronger immunity, many times you may not even know they were sick or, just a sniffling nose or whatever, yeah?
Yeah. That asymptomatic stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? I'm not a scientist and what the heck? You know what I mean?
Hey, policy-wise, though, I've been seeing this thing about airlines not bringing flights into the neighbor islands from Transpacific Flights. Can you share a little bit about that? And if you have any knowledge on what's going on with that as far as why?
What I've been calling is Back to the Future. You're really too young to remember, or maybe you remember when you were really young, that if you wanted to go to the mainland, you'd have to jump on Hawaii or Aloha, fly to Honolulu, and then get your flight to wherever you were going, right? Mm-hmm. About 25 years ago, maybe 30, that all started to change with direct flights to the neighbor islands. Big Island used to have it all the time. Hilo used to have Trans-Pacific, and then Kona, because it's big runway, started to get Trans-Pacific. Then Maui, and then the last one was Kauai, Lehui. And so now all the neighbor islands have what we call Trans-Pacific flights. The flights that you get directly into Maui or Kauai or any island. Mm-hmm. But what's happened is because of the tremendous fall-off of visitors and even residents traveling, the airlines are consolidating and saying, okay, go back to Honolulu. Let's do everything out of Oahu for right now, out of Daniel K. Inouye International Airport to wherever you want to go in the mainland. I think we have 3 or 4 flights a week here, Kavika, Vika. We get Delta. It's the only one. I think Kona has, the similar number, 3 or 4, and Lihue 3 or 4. Nothing goes into Hilo. And really, Hilo was only having one flight a day, which was United. And that wasn't that full. So that's why they decided to consolidate, I call it. Southwest, Hawaiian, United, American. They're not flying from the neighbor islands at this time. They're just going to Oahu, to Honolulu, and from there, they pick up whatever passenger loads, and boom. That's why you see the large numbers in Honolulu as far as visitors and return residents.
Is it to kind of streamline the, vetting process through one airport before, a continuation to other destinations? Is it more, check-in filtered process with authorities to make sure people aren't, gallivanting if they're here for vacation? I don't know why they would be, but,
they do. They do right now have most of the flights coming in Oahu. We have some here. We have the one in Maui. But we also check the inter-island passengers.
Yeah, got it as well.
And so that, we still have, 7. 4 Hawaiian and 3 Southwest. And then Mokulele and Makani still flies into the inter-island terminals. The little small commuter terminals, I should say. It's commuter terminals. Mm-hmm. And so we have National Guard and other law enforcement as well as the Department of Health and airport personnel manning these checkpoints when they come in to test them. Before they get off the plane, they are checked. Inter-island is before they get on the plane, they're checked. And so we're trying to monitor, even on the neighbor islands, even if we don't have Transpacific, we are monitoring even the neighbor island traveler, just to make sure, A, they belong here, and B, they're not a traveler that is skated through or given a false story at Honolulu. Although I was there Friday, I went and spent the morning at the airport and watched how they check the flights in, how they check people in, the forms that need to be filled out. I'm quite satisfied that 98% of them are pretty much honest, clear. They check them. If you can't, you don't have the right ID. Like one lady, I think I forget where she was going, some doctor or some clinic, but she didn't have the right letter to verify that, so they had to call the clinic, and the clinic verified she was coming on, so then they cleared her. So that's why they're also saying if you're going to take an inter-island flight, no matter what you're going to do, even if you're essential or needing medical, try to be there at least 3 hours early to, get through all of this process so that you're not rushing to your flight.
Got it. All right. Well, aside from that, what else you got planned for us this week? Any announcements? Any kind of funding stuff you got?
Well, we'll be announcing another food drive on Thursday.
Okay.
We're looking at starting up now blood draw for blood pathogen antibodies, and as well as to find out quicker if someone is infected with the COVID-19. So we're working on those details as we speak so that we could introduce that here in Maui. Now, some of the clinics have it, so that's good. But we're looking at bringing outside. Again, Dr. Miskovich will do that now instead of the regular testing. He'll leave that to the clinics here in Maui County, and he's going to turn his attention to now the blood draw and seeing if we can improve not only the numbers we do, but the turnaround time. I think that's important. Mm-hmm. We have the rapid response machine and the rapid kits. However, I'm saving that really for our first responders, medical personnel, that if they're suspected of being sick, we want to know quickly so we can make sure they're off the line, keep them off the line if they are. If they're not, and it's not COVID-19 and nothing serious, then we can return them to work as soon as they feel better. So, we're trying to monitor more closely and more accurately the procedures to trace, and not only trace, but to detect and then trace any COVID-19, either here or even possibility of coming into Maui.
Awesome. Well, that's good news. Development in trying to figure this thing out, which I'm sure is still going to be a while until we can figure it out 100%. Man, what a...
Well, I don't know if we'll ever get 100%, Vika. I don't know. Okay. Even today with flu and other viruses that are out there. The vaccines are not 100% fail-safe.
True.
There are people that, either cannot use it or, reject it. When you have the flu shot, you've heard people that it didn't help them. So there's no real guarantee, but we'd like to make sure that we're a lot safer, that the vast majority of those who can be immunized are immunized. As we slowly open our economy, part of our economy will be the visitor industry, will be the hospitality. We'll have a new norm. I've said this for weeks now, a new normalcy that we've never seen before. What is that? I'm not sure myself, but you can see it changing our lives. Will masks be a part of it? I don't know. Will social distancing? Obviously, that will be part of it. And whatever else may come along, we've got to adapt our lives to the new norm.
Awesome. Well, again, as best as you can do as far as these decisions, you do have critics, you do have praisers, but for the most part, good job on, keeping a cool head during this time. A lot of people would
thank you, Vika. It's like everything else. We're doing the best we can, and people have to understand decisions are made not just at the whim, but we go through a meticulous, systematic review of everything that is associated, starting with health, community, economics. Yeah. The health has to be first and paramount. Our community's well-being must be second. And third, economics. Now, sometimes economics may jump to number 2, but in general, that's the triangle we use, and that's the Johns Hopkins study that indicates that if you follow that, your recovery will probably be a lot more precise and probably less severe should there be an outbreak somewhere along the line.
Like I said, that second wave, that's what I'm fearing. Everybody going, run around and dance, and next thing you know, it's like, ee. So, again, side of precaution, very, very good idea. And again,
absolutely.
Thank you very
I agree with you.
Thank you.
100%.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Again, tell Auntie Joycelyn, Happy Mother's Day. I will. And tell your lovely wife we say Happy Mother's Day. And your mother, too. You better not forget her. Oh my goodness gracious. No, not at all. Well, thank you very much, Mayor Victorino. And we'll be listening in, watching 4 p.m., this afternoon.
Yes. Okay. Stay healthy. Stay safe, everyone. God bless you. Aloha.